Hi there, I'm the nature guy at Camp Sable. Now, last weekend I was up in the UP and it was in the town of Rudyard. And Rudyard is famous for snowy owls. In fact, it's called the snowy owl capital. Now, snowy owls are really cool. And last year I did an episode about snowy owls and why they migrate and how they see and so forth. But today I want to talk a little bit about their joints, particularly their neck. Now, it turns out that birds have a backbone like we do, except theirs is all fused together. So they can't twist their body. Their body is stiff. And that's good because when they're flying, they don't have to use any muscles to kind of keep from sagging. So it's lighter for a bird to fly, and their back just doesn't get tired when they're in a horizontal position for maybe hours when they're flying. The problem then is with a stiff back, it's hard to turn around. Okay, it's hard to look behind you. Now we can turn our heads to our shoulders and look 90 degrees either way. But when we want to look behind us, we have to twist our body, and I can look behind and see out the window here at the Mini Mac Bridge behind the Nature Center. But for many birds, including owls, including the snowy owls, they have a very flexible neck. They've got more vertebrae in their neck than mammals do. And so they can turn their head all the way around and look behind them, just like this bird is doing. In fact, they can turn 270 degrees. So from facing straight ahead, they can turn right, but look over their left shoulder, which is really something. And so that's how birds compensate. By having this stiff back, they have a very flexible neck. But there's another thing about the snowy owl that I want to show you in this next set of pictures. This was one that was perched just on the very tippy top of a spruce tree. You can see it's kind of bent over. And the wind was blowing, and so you can see the bird was moving around, but a hunting owl needs to have a good look and have a stationary head. And you can see here that even though the wind's blowing at times, the head is still. And then when it wants to turn and look another way, it quickly turns and then locks into that position. And the body, all the joints and the muscles and the sensory feedback allow that bird to just keep its head stationary, even though its body is getting jostled around. And by having a stationary head they can stare directly at what they think it might be a prey, they're the predator. And they can look at the prey and focus without having all the motion of the wind blowing them around. Of course, they also use their sense of hearing. So that head being perfectly still allows a little parabola that their facial disc is, and allows that to stare steadily at the potential prey and be able to figure out where it is by either sight or sound. So these snowy owls are really pretty cool, and we enjoyed watching them on our nature tour this past weekend. But the UP is not the only place for snowy owls. There are a few spread throughout the state. Check your local newspaper or nature center and see if there's one near you. They like to have their own little territory and they kind of stay there. So if you can figure out where there is one, there's a good chance you might be able to go out and see one and watch its behavior. So what's the lesson we can learn from these snowy owls? Well, they certainly have an ability to have a laser focus. Even things get jostled around, their head's staying really still and they're staring right at what they need to be focused on. And as Christians, we need to be focused on God. There are a lot of distractions that can blow us left or right or up and down and jiggle our lives. There are a lot of things that we have going on in our lives that can distract us from staying focused on God. The Bible tells us that we should do that. So I think we can learn that lesson from the owls. Well, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye now.